So grandfathers dismembered. No. Dismembered grandfathers. What type of sense does that make? That's my favorite phrase. What type of sense does that make for a grown man or anybody else to dismember someone else's grandfather? That's stupidity. It just is. Right? It takes an individual such as myself, an outcast in society, a disliked individual in society, because of being outspoken based upon the things that people do and you want to say. Stupid with that, right? Issues. But yes, like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two and combine them into one. Something like that. I can't get my hat to turn back straight. That's that Janet Jackson logo. I represent Janet Jackson. Yes, I do, as a fan. As millions of fans, the true ones that been supporting her for years on end. Therefore, I gotta always have something. What's the phrase for it, or terminology? Something that's a part of her with me at all times. And the hat I need to get me a various colors hat so I can change them up. I said this before. Different color. See, to support somebody is to, in fact, yes, represent them as you go. And because I don't have different colors, as in different shades, is to wear this one over and over and just wash it and put it back on. That makes better sense. All is relatable with even that. But yeah, so this grown individual, the man in the photo, his face flashed, and I don't know what happened with that. The disaster, as in him, personality, right? Yes, there you go. Is up above. Dismembered that 76-year-old grandfather. 76, 77, 76, right? Why do such a thing? I'm saying that's completely a life over. Despite the grandfather being taken, the man's life was almost at its ending point. That just don't make sense. That's a foolish. Robert Page is the victim. 77-year-old Robert Page. He went missing, as all was reported to Clayton County Police Department by his wife, Lula Page. They were married for 49 years. Miss Page shared her husband was a homebody. I'm just trying to equate this. How does a 77-year-old man, that's the story. That's all the story in a heartbeat, as in it's been said and laid to rest and it's over. I just told the whole story in one sentence. As in there's nothing else left to be said. You're 77-year-old man. You are a homebody based upon what your wife done said. She's been married to you for 49 years, so she should in fact know that you got along good with everybody in the environment, other residents and all the rest, and yet a lunatic just comes along and kill you off. Sometimes I hate sit and talk about stuff like this, and yet it's vital because it's in fact news story and news relatability with even that, and yet some of these people put you in a low mood in a sense, right? Because Christmas will in fact be coming up. Yes, it will. And that grandfather won't be around his grandkids because of dumb fuck act. It's pointless. So when police showed up for investigation purposes, they went for a surveillance video. So the grandfather went missing. There was no way to understand what was happening with that sort of thing, and yet a surveillance video was in fact there for police to find. That surveillance video pointed them in the direction of Christian Ponce Martinez, the man in the photo. That surveillance tape pointed police to him. He's 25 years old. He looks much more older than that. Must be a drug user and abuser, or something deep up underneath that, because he looks so much more old in the face. Could be a meth head or something. I don't know. Shouts out to the meth heads. I'm not hating on y'all, but make better, wise choices or something. That's not saying that he is. It just looks like it, right? So Martinez had recently started renting a room in his friend's home next to the Pages' property 3 months ago. He had just started renting a room. That's to say you never know who's moving in. As in who's around the block and closed doors with all that sort of thing, right? As in you need to be checking in and checking to see on your grandparents. Dear viewers out there that's watching this, because you just don't know. All type of elderly people, yes, be killed and all the rest. You don't even know these people. So police went around to the rear location of the building. They went around to the place of residence to only find the guilty party once again, Christian Ponce Martinez. He was hiding under a couch, and his behavior could be labeled as suspicious. Soon after, a trail of blood. If there was no blood there, possibly, yes, Mr. Page himself, the grandfather, rest his soul, rest in peace with that. If there was no trail of blood found anywhere, the grandfather possibly would have never been found. You don't even know with that. There's been dead bodies that have been laid, as in laying places, laying and never found, and then wither away, and then years later the bones are found, right? But not all the time. Makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, the blood, there was in fact a trail of blood which was noticed, which led to police following its trail, and that led to them stumbling upon Robert Page's remains, his body fully dismembered. Completely dismembered. The dismembered body parts of Mr. Page, once again, were located in a cooler under a tarp. That points back to what I was saying, how some people's bodies or their remains are not found because how they're hidden away. Once again, this older gentleman, yes, an elder. Usually you're supposed to respect your elders. Sometimes many of us in society don't because we're misfits. But that's not to say that you don't go kill elders, the elderly. You're supposed to care and look after the elders and elderly. Is that or is that not common sense? Who don't know that? So once again, Mr. Page's body, the remains, can't even say body anymore, remains were in fact located in a cooler under a tarp. Completely dismembered, chopped all the way up. Mr. Page's family, when it comes to the grieving, they were in fact at a loss. Many families are, but how do you deal with that? Makes me want to just cut the tape off, and yet this ain't even VHS. It just, how do you sit anywhere over family holiday, because that's just Thanksgiving is coming up, and not only that, Christmas is coming up. What is the discussion while you sitting there eating? This is almost like the Jeffrey Dahmer video. What do you say when I said how Jeffrey Dahmer's parents, what do they discuss at the dinner table, knowing that their son was into dismembering people, bodily parts, and how I said I would have been completely became a vegetarian if I knew my son was doing that sort of thing. So it's the same on the end of the grieving. That's much more of a tragic loss on the end of the grieving. That's to ask, what is his family members, the grandfather, what are they going to do on Thanksgiving Day, the holiday, eating, sitting around a table, knowing that their loved one was dismembered in that way, put inside of a cooler under a tarp. And then they got to sit there and eat Thanksgiving dinner. That just, I think I would lose my whole complete appetite over the meal. And possibly even lose it in the meal, possibly throw up with thinking about it. That's the worst. His kids, I'm saying. Because depending on how young his grandkids is, or if there's even any with that sort of thing, is to say, how do you get over the grieving process with that? That's got to be a hurtful thing. Possibly never. I think if that was my grandfather, grandmother, I would never. I probably would have to go to a psych ward. If somebody cut up my grandmother, dismembering somebody and putting them in the cooler. Because there's even memories and thinking back on when you spent time with the person. Your grandfather or your grandmother or whoever, right? So the last memory is that, what I just said, spending time to only one day look up and then knowing they're, gonna be at the coroner's office in a jar or something. Makes no sense. Cooler means jar. Or possibly not, right? Nobody knows the internal contents with that. But yeah, the family, you just wonder how they feel. When it comes in the closing, in the end, Christian Ponce Martinez got charged with obstruction and murder. I said that, in fact, in reverse, but I'm going to leave it as is and it's going to stay. Charged with obstruction and murder and is being held without bail at the Clayton County Jail. As in a rock in hell with that. Dear Georgia. That's love all the way. I just shared it. As in I expressed it very real, and I should have. That's all to be said for that. I'm an OG in the mouth with even that, as in I don't care. As in die off Christian Ponce Martinez or whatever you are over there. Possibly monster. Don't know with that sort of thing. Sounds like insanity with it. Could be. Too bad he didn't eat him, because that's just even much more worse. Shouts out to Lieutenant Joe Kenda. That's my dude. He is. Everybody know Lieutenant Joe Kenda is my dude. I should just, to be more OG in the mouth, is just for me to just say, shouts out to Kenda. Don't he look like an OG with the swag? He just ain't got the tie on. Notice his shirt is buttoned up, is unbuttoned. That's straight OG. That tells you he gets down in solving cases with that. So recommended for you. Dear viewers, however you like to pick and choose with that, so leave me a comment in the comment section. Be free to express with that what you think and feel about this grandfather situation. How would you feel if that was just visualize if that was your situation or your grandparent and you got the phone call one day that said if that was your grandfather, you got the phone call that somebody completely chopped him up and hid him under a tarp. How would you feel? Go back on childhood memories and leave me a comment in the comment section about that. Because the craziness is completely wild and absurd. So recommended for you. Shouts out to Paula. Click the add to favorites. People Magazine investigates. Add to favorites. Yes, each one of these in fact hold a description. You can go through each show, rather fast or slow, however you choose. The actual website you're asking, as in what we're sitting on. I'm sitting here on a mirror. But for you to go to the location is investigationdiscovery.com. The logo sits up in the far left-hand corner. Live now, The Perfect Murder. Unlocked episodes. Body cam. That is in fact good to have a body cam, because all type of people get shot by police officers and all the rest, and even police officers get shot dead. There's a lot with that, even in the context. Oh yeah, with that. So description stands right here. You can in fact get an audio visual preview by clicking the play button. You can add to watch later by pressing the plus sign. Body cam. Gypsy's Revenge, season 1, episode 1. People Magazine investigates. That is always that's in fact season 3 episode 1. That's a good look to check out. It in fact is. It's laid back over here. I don't know how it is over there. You can leave me a comment on that as well. I'm saying it ain't no strict strategic whatever with that. Like, nobody dressing up with that. Helps to say. It's better just to be chill and calm and cool with that. So, on last night, to sign in is to click the lock to get and preview the access, providing your provider to gain access to this to get in. Shattered season 2 episode 5. There's various ones that's just like this with that padlock. The only way you're gonna get exclusive access is once again to put in your provider. Unlock series. Has anyone ever been stalked before? That sounds like almost like a being in history class and yet not. The way I said that. It doesn't make sense and yet it does. Either one of these. ID Go original series. Checking through the preview. Either one of these. It is nice to say you can in fact scroll through. I like to take my time. I do. With no wine. But possibly so if you send me some in the box. Schedule preview. The Perfect Murder. Support to Save the Children's hurricane relief efforts. You can donate here by clicking right there. Donate here. Crime Feed news to catch out all the best and extremity wild. What that is to you. See, we got a granny right here. Death House serial killer Dorothea Fuente. She ain't no joke. She in her mugshot, ain't she? To see a granny that is that age is to say her mind must be highly explorative in the getting down process. Because to say you all marked up with that, I wonder if granny ever practiced shootouts. 9mm and rifles and handguns. She looked like the type with even that sort of thing. I allow you, the viewer, to get on the inside of this to go much more deeper with that, as in you'll be able to answer my question once you do with that. So, yes, Dorothea. She looks like somebody, she looked like somebody, look at it again. She looked like somebody's grandmother on the other side of this camera. A viewer, probably his grandmother, you never even know. Say everybody got a twin. That is off the hook. But yes, did I say that in order to gain access to the Crime Feed news department? Not completely a department all like that, but to gain access is to click right within here and you're going to be directed to the outside. Yes, crimefeed.com is the location for all the news with that. To receive a newsletter is in fact type your email address in and click next. And that is all to be said with that sort of thing. All the brands in which Discovery in fact offers. I'm sitting on them. As in they're not completely seen. That granny though in the face, that mugshot though. That is completely elusive. As in it's telling and yet it's not. So I think that's all to be said for now. And I'm leaving out for now. And I'm gone for now.